Hello everyone and welcome. This is Dawn. I'm back with another video. Today I'll be using the Whimsy Stamps Decorate a Tree die set along with other Whimsy Stamps products. This is a 12-piece die set. It comes with multiple tree layers. You can stack all of the tree layers onto one another to make different size trees like I'm doing here. You could make one big tall tree if you wanted. You can make a medium tree, or even just one small tree. This tree set gives you lots of options. It also comes with a die for 6 small bows that can go on top of the smaller trees, or you could put the bows to make like ornaments on the tree. It also comes with a die to cut out 2 bigger bows, which you can put on the tops of the bigger trees. Then you get a tree trunk and a pot you can put the tree in. It all depends on the look that you're going for. It comes with 2 dies for the garland, and you can use one for lights if you wanted to. You can color in the little circles. It has this set of ornaments that cuts out 2 different shapes. And then lastly, it has this die that cuts out a big star and a small star and a set of 8 candles. So let's get started. The card I'm going to make is a pretty simple card to make and would be a very easy card to mass produce for Christmas cards if you wanted to. I'm going to be using the Whimsy Stamps Tartan patterned paper pack to cut out the trees so they have different patterns on them. I start out by cutting all the trees out with the same size die, and I just kind of play around with all the trees and the colors to see what order I want them to be in on the card. Then, using the Whimsy Stamps Slimline Birthday Scallops die, I take the biggest scallop rectangle and I die cut it from a piece of green cardstock for my border. Next, I'm going to use the Whimsy Stamps Slimline Embossing folder to emboss the background so it's not just a plain white background. I take a piece of white cardstock that I just cut to 4 by 8.5 and I put it in the middle of the embossing folder. And then if you're using a Gemini Junior machine, you place a cutting plate down, then the embossing folder, and then another cutting plate on top, and then you just run it through the machine. When it comes out of the embossing folder, I just trim the sides down to 3 1/4 by 8 1/4, which is the same size as the Slimline scallop die we cut out. I adhere the green scallop border to the embossed piece of white cardstock, and then I adhere the embossed piece of cardstock to a piece of white cardstock that I cut to 8.5 by 7, and then I scored it at 3.5 inches. Now I start to assemble my card, and I lay all of my trees onto the front of the cardstock, and I play around a little with the placement of the trees, and I'm looking at it thinking it just looks like too many trees on the card, and they're just kind of overpowering the embossed background, and you can't really see the detail of it or the border that much, and it really wasn't the look I was going for. So this is where I decided I got to get rid of some of these trees. I decided I wanted to add some smaller trees, so I go back and I cut out 3 of them from the same tartan pattern paper. I also die cut some of the small bows and big bows from some gold metallic cardstock. I put foam tape on the back of all the trees, and then I adhere them to the card front, and I alternate the small tree and the big trees. I was going for kind of a country style look, and I really liked how this turned out with the different sizes of the trees. Then I just used some liquid glue to adhere all of the bows onto the tops of the trees. I used the smaller bows for the small trees, and then I used the bigger bows for the bigger trees. Using the Whimsy Stamps Sentiment Assortment Merry Christmas stamp set, I pick out one of the sentiments to heat emboss. I prep a piece of black cardstock with my embossing powder bag, and then I stamp the sentiment with Versamark ink. I pour gold embossing powder over it, and then when my heat tool is good and hot, I heat emboss the sentiment. I trim the sentiment down to the size I want, and then I put foam tape on the back of it and adhere it to the card. And to finish off the card, I adhere little gems to each of the trees just to make it look like there's some ornaments on the trees and a little sparkle to the card. And that will complete my card for today. I would love for you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of the card. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos and new product releases. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a wonderful day.